Hello, friends. I'm Heidi. If it's your first time here, welcome. And if you're returning, I'm so happy that you are back. Today, we are going to be rolling out our hips. Now, I'm not a physical therapist. I'm just doing this because it feels good for me. And it also feels good for a lot of my clients. Now, when I say feels good, it mostly means that like hurts so good feeling. Now, what rolling out usually does is it releases the fascia that has tightened up. Your fascia is kind of that layering that encapsulates your muscles. And sometimes when the fascia tightens, it restricts the muscles and restricts the joints and can sometimes trigger pain within the hips and the knees. So the fascia we're rolling out today is going to be around our hips. So that's just a little segment. I'm not here to give you any kind of PT pro tips or anything. I'm a Pilates instructor. I just want to lead you through some feel good movement. Let's do this, guys. Okay, so if you are super sore, chances are this might be a little intense for you, but you can do it. I believe in you. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start with our glutes. We're gonna work our way around the hip, kind of like around the world. And you'll see how it'll just kind of flow from one part of the hip to the next. So what I'm gonna have you do, you sit on your roller. You're gonna take your one hand back and you're gonna slightly roll into the meaty part of your glute, kind of the glute med and min. And you're just gonna start to roll up and down that meaty portion of your glute. And if you're particularly, that's a really hard word to say, sore or achy in that area, this might trigger you a little bit. It might be hard to roll across, right? But you can do it. And one of the biggest things to think about is just breathing through it, right? So just inhaling and exhaling. Anytime you're doing release work, stretch work, any work in general, you want to make sure that you're really taking the time to breathe because when you hold your breath, you're restricting your movement. Yeah. So from there, we're going to make this a little more interesting. You're going to find the meaty portion of that glute there, or you're going to find a little trigger point there. Right here is where I feel a little bit of a trigger point. So I'm going to hold there. I'm going to take that same leg and cross the ankle over, and then I'm going to rock side to side. So I'm going to kind of go into it and away from it. So I just felt compelled to share this with you guys because I almost think of my YouTube channel as like a video library for my clients to refer to. It's just nice for them to have it. And I figured I'd share it with everyone else too, right? So I just love to share the things that I do with my clients with you at home. So we're just going to release a couple more times. And then from there, same thing. You can kind of roll in and out of it with the ankle crossed if you would like. Yeah. So from there, on that same leg, we're going to straighten it. And then you're going to adjust yourself. You're going to pivot around. So at that point, you want the roller right on your femur bone. Yeah. So right on the side of the hip. Now, the angle of the hip really matters. You want to make sure you're right on the side so we get into that IT band. You're going to take the top foot in front. And then, depending on how it feels on your wrist, you can stay here or you can bring your arm down. It's totally up to you. One thing I want you to remember is that this foot can be your kickstand. This is your helper. We often leave it behind. Sometimes we get so stuck in our upper body. But what you're going to do is push in and out with that foot. You're going to slide up and down that hip. So you want to go up to the top of the hip and down towards the knee. So kind of right at that iliac crest and then coming all the way down towards that knee. Try not to limit yourself to just one point. Now, depending on how it feels, you may be going a lot slower than I am. When I was dancing at Disney, I was having a little bit of knee pain. We dance on concrete all day, every day in heels. And so my IT band was super tight and they had me roll it out. It was the first time, believe it or not, first time I had ever rolled out my IT bands before. It felt like I was rolling over rocks and I was in tears. But come day 4, with consistency, it loosened up and my knee didn't hurt. Now, not to say every time you have knee pain, it's your fascia and you need to roll out your IT band. It's not what I'm saying. It's not going to bring you instant relief, but that's just an example of how releasing fascia, if it gets super tight and it's overused, maybe it just needs a little bit of tender, loving care. So you're just going to keep rolling there. And then when you can't stand it anymore, we're going to adjust. We're going to roll onto the front of our hips now. So now I'm going to bring it so that my thighs are on the roller. I'm going to kind of walk the roller down a little bit here. So from here, it's almost like a core work at the same time. I'm going to roll out both hips. So from here, getting into the front of my thigh, I'm going to roll up towards my knee and then down. So the roller goes towards my hips. Yes. So as I'm doing that, I'm just really allowing that pressure to sink into the roller. And I'm just keeping my legs parallel for right now, but we're going to get all points of your quads. Yeah. So from this position here, you can turn out your legs. So kind of pointing your toes open. It's going to kind of rotate your thighs. And then again, you're going to roll up and down. So you're getting all points of your quads. It's going to be more on the inside of the quad there. And then take a moment, friends. You'll pause your movement in center, and then from there, we're going to roll it in. So I'm going to kind of point my toes in, and now I feel more of the outer section, the lateral area of my quads. Just breathing it out. Always breathing, all the time. Yes. Woo! And if you just did a crazy leg day, this is probably woohoo, super, super painful, maybe. Maybe. Not always. And then take a moment. From there, what you would simply do is come up and turn around to the other leg. Now, you're going to go to the IT band on the other leg. I don't want my butt facing you, so I'm just going to come around to the other side, and so I can talk to you face to face. And we're going to come down on the side of the thigh. We want to make sure that we're not turning out or turning in. We want to stay parallel here. And then we're going to just push into that top foot, rolling across that IT band. Now, here's the thing. If you want more, because you can always go deeper, you can stack the feet. And now you have no choice but to have all your weight down on that roller. Now, 9 times out of 10, I give this option to my clients and they say, oh, heck no. So it's up to you. If it feels good to you or not, that's okay. Keep the foot there and use it as a little kickstand. Yeah. So doing that a couple more times. This side is a little bit tighter for me. A little bit, I won't say tighter, but I feel a lot more feedback here. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and come up, coming back to our gluteal area on the opposite side. I'm going to cross my ankle over, and we're just going to go side to side, in and out of it, releasing through that glute med and min. Feels so good. I'm going to feel good after this. I'm going to want to take a nap. Maybe, but I won't. Good. And then from there, we're going to uncross, or you can keep it crossed. It's up to you. And we're going to roll up and down that gluteal area, especially if you're sitting a lot, right? Tend to be a little bit tighter. So this is a good way to just release everything too. So it could be a double-edged sword. You could be really active and the fascia tightens up, or the latter, which is sitting a lot. Maybe teaching school from home. A lot of people can relate right now, or instructing from home via Zoom. Everyone loves Zoom. So just releasing and then take a moment there. We're going to have a seat on the floor. And then if you're old enough to know what a typewriter is, yes, I'm old enough, friends. I'm going to slide the roller over like a typewriter. And then from there, I'm going to straighten out that leg that's on the roller. And I'm just going to push up and I'm going to roll across that thigh. Forward and back a couple of times. Just releasing through that hamstring. Same thing here. You can roll it out a little bit. Just like we did with the quads, we're just doing one leg at a time. You can do both, but here's the thing. I feel like I get better pressure when I do one leg at a time, especially with the hamstrings. And you could turn it in and do the same thing. Just something for you to do when you're feeling kind of tight. And then let's do the other side. So we're going to just slide it across like a typewriter. Put all that weight on that leg, and then we're going to go forward and back. Just releasing through those hips. We want nice mobile hips too, right? When you have mobile hips, you're less likely to deal with things that come with it, like back pain, right? Or it can go down the chain into your knees and your ankles, right? So rolling it out, same thing. My roller's kind of getting away from me. I would usually adjust it. We're almost done. I can just kind of move towards it. Yes. Woo. And relax. Well, there it is. And there's so much you can do with myofascial release using the roller. I mean, you can release every part of your body. But today we're just doing the hips. So let me know if you have any questions or if you have any comments. Please comment below. I welcome your feedback. I don't know why I'm hitting the foam roller, but thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to subscribe and share the love, and I hope to see you again soon.